I was wondering if you could explain why you view meditation as being so important, as you always include this in your pirate map habits. Well, it's a good question. I mean, my background in religious studies, religious education, and theology might be part of it, Joseph. There's an interesting tradition. Now, I call this park bench and bus bench, but there's an interesting tradition in what I'm about to tell you. Uh, I don't like what I'm about to say. Okay, Joseph, I'm saying that out loud. I don't like it. I think but there is a tradition that when a person prays, they're saying, "Hey God or gods, give me this, make this happen, do this." And when you meditate, you say, "Okay, gods, talk to me." That's a foundational start of what I want to talk about. But one of the things, so I guess what I'm trying to say is meditation then traditionally is this quiet time where you are listening. Prayer is when you're speaking, meditation is when you're listening. By the way, I don't agree with what I just said 100%. I understand the tradition behind it, but there's some issues with it. One of the things I like about meditation personally is I have a problem, and if you're ever around me, you'll catch on to it quickly. I'm a multitasker's multitasker. I'm constantly, even as I'm sitting here, I want to straighten up my ruler. My ruler was where it was supposed to be, so I want to put my ruler back. And so my day planner wasn't on top of my journal where it's supposed to be, so I want to fix that right now. Oh, did I turn off my phone? Oh, let me check my phone. Okay. What the 1 minute meditation does for me, that's an app on my phone, is I press it, I breathe out until I hear the first ding, and then I try to count my breaths in that 1 minute. And I try to get around 6. After workouts, I do the same thing. I press it, and my breath count is much higher. But here's what I find. I do it again, and within about 2 minutes and change, because I have to press the button twice, I'll notice that my first round of breaths are about 12, and then I'm at 8 or 7 on my second. So I am consciously, probably physically, emotionally, spiritually, bringing everything down. With my extended meditations, Joseph, what I'm trying to do is teach myself to stay single focused. I'm a big fan of guided meditations. And my family has a little joke for my guided meditations. They call it Dad is napping. And sometimes I nap. I do fall asleep. Now, if you fall asleep while you meditate, generally that's a sign that you haven't had enough sleep. But in my case, I've noticed now that in these 15-minute meditations, that I'm in that weird place where I'm right on the edge of sleep and right on the edge of consciousness. So I can hear, like my wife in the living room. I can hear my grandkids watching something on Disney. I can hear it, but there's no reaction. So for me, Joseph, meditation is a tool I use to train my mind to push out all the squirrels and all the noise that hits me constantly and allows me to stay focused on one thing. Joseph, you might not need it, but I do. I know this. I'm kind of built different than a lot of people. I mean, I have master's degrees in history and religious education. I can teach you American football. I can coach you in American football. I can coach you in wrestling. I can coach you any event in track and field. I'm a strength coach. And here's the funny thing. In a 1 week period, it's not unusual for me to do all that. Literally all that. At one time, I could teach economics, history, and theology. At one school, I did all three at the same time, sacred scripture, and coached different sports. So I can multitask. But the problem with multitask sometimes is when you're multitasking all the time, to get yourself to go like this and take care of your taxes be truly present with the ones you love. I personally need the tool of meditation to help me through it.